Hello everybody, welcome back to some Minecraft, some amazing post-commentary Minecraft. I wanted to show you guys how to make these different dyes, because in the last update video I made, I missed some stuff, some big stuff actually, like the color red. You put roses in the crafting square, and it will make you the dye rose red. That's what it's called. And you can use that, combine it with wool, to make red wool. And this is the pattern that you'll see continued through all the different dyes that you can create. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys in this video all the different colors that are available right now. You essentially can make the whole Roy G. Biv spectrum plus shades of gray. There is, at this point, no brown. Brown was originally going to be made with cocoa beans, which I really hope can be used to make coffee. That's actually cacao. I make chocolate. But anyway, no cocoa beans. They got taken out, so there's no brown dye yet. Anyway, you mix bone meal, which you can get from the bones that are now dropped by skeletons. A new drop from skeletons is the bones. You make those to use one of those in the crafting square to make bone meal. Mix the bone meal with the red rose, the red dye, or it's actually called rose red, and that will make pink dye. You can mix the pink dye to make pink wool. You can put the yellow flowers in the crafting square to make dandelion yellow, your yellow dye, and you can use red and yellow in the crafting square together to make orange. If you know how pigments mix together, this is basic like kindergarten stuff for you guys. So basically, you start out with red, and then you make yellow from the other flowers. You mix red and yellow to make orange. You mix red and white to make pink. It's fairly straightforward. If you know anything about painting, you can figure this out just intuitively. You sort of know what colors to mix to make things. So we're going to grab a little coal here, because we're going to make our next color. We've already done the Roy. We need to go for G, which is green, so we can get on to Biv. I'll go ahead and talk about something that's strange here. To make purple, you're going to mix red and blue. And to make orange, you're going to mix red and yellow. Because those are your three primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. Your primary pigments are red, yellow, and blue. You're going to mix this. Basically, you can use those three colors to make all the other colors. So you mix red and blue to make purple, you mix red and yellow to make orange, and you mix yellow and blue to make green, right? No, not actually. You don't actually need any blue to make green. All you have to do is cook cactuses in the furnace, and it'll make green dye for you. Cactus green. Green wool. There you go. And if you want a lighter color green, you can mix it with bone meal to make lime green. And of course, lime wool as well. I like that Notch did it that way, because it gives us another use for the cactus, as well as making the lapis lazuli less valuable, which quite frankly, I am more than happy about, because when you get to this Biv part, you have to use a lot of blue to make these different colors, and blue is the hardest to find. Essentially, of all the dyes, like rose red, dandelion yellow, you can pick up those. Cactuses, flowers, they're easy to find. Cactuses you can even grow in your house. All you need is some sand and some water. It's easy. And then you've got a bone meal, which you can get from skeletons. I mean, you can say, if you're new and you're trying to start out, it can be hard to get bone meal because you have to go fight skeletons. But once you've got a spawn farmer, if you can find a skeleton spawner and farm bone meal off of that, make a spawn trap basically, then you have all the bone meal that you want. And it's easy. You can make all the dyes that you want from there. So bone meal is not very rare either once you've got a good spawn trap going. See, there you go, red and blue mix purple. But blue you can't lighten up the purple to make pink. That's what I'm showing here. You have to do red and white to make pink. Purple and white does nothing. Purple and bone meal is the white dye essentially. You can dye white wool white with the bone meal. I guess it does nothing if the wool's already white. So there's a whole spectrum. There's one other color that we're missing here. I'll get to that in a second. And it requires lapis lazuli. But in my experience, lapis lazuli is literally rarer than diamonds. Really, I dug out a mine, and in the course of that mine, I found 7 pieces of diamond, and I found 4 pieces of lapis lazuli. And it's actually the only 4 I've ever found so far in the game. So have fun with that. Trying to find blue. If you're going to do pixel art, try to avoid the color blue, at least if you're doing it in single-player mode. And you can see there the ink sacs, which we now collect from the new mobs, squids. You basically get 1 or 2 ink sacs per squid. They spawn just like every other mob in light underwater. The last thing we can do with the blue, its third use, is cyan dye. You mix blue and green to make cyan, which is basically a bluish green color. That's my guess. So the blue dye is only good for 3 things. Blue wool, light blue, and then you have cyan as well. So yeah, lapis lazuli is a little bit tough to find though. And like I was saying, the ink sacs, you can use those. Mix ink sacs and bone meal to make gray dye. Mix gray dye and bone meal to make light gray dye, and that's how you get your different colors of wool. And you actually can collect black wool now because they're now black sheep. One other thing that Notch added in this update is charcoal. This is a way to make the first night easier to survive, because before you had to make a pick, like a wooden pick, then you had to go and farm some stone, and you had to make a stone pick, and you had to go and get the coal and make torches. It's a long process, and some people, you want to make a house your first day. You don't want to spend the whole time making torches. And so now you can put wood over wood in the furnace, basically just burn wood, and you can make charcoal. And essentially, it doesn't do anything to dye wool. I don't know what I'm trying to do here, but charcoal essentially acts just like coal, but you don't need to mine coal to make it. You can just use wood. And so it makes your first night easier to survive, because you can put that charcoal over a stick and make a nice, perfectly good torch. So thanks, Notch, for making that first night easier. I'll see you guys next time.